Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Now I'm so excited to film this video because I don't think I've ever made a video like this, but I'm basically going to talk about how to find the right camp and different things you can do to make sure the camp that you go to next summer in a few summers time is the perfect one for you. Now I want to start off by saying that I personally do believe that there is a camp out there for everyone. I know it sounds really cheesy and cringy, and sometimes when people say it, I know other people are like, oh, there's no way that that's not how it works. But I genuinely do think that. I think there's so many different types of camps out in America that there is one out there for everyone. Like there's over 12,000 camps in America, which to me is wild. So just put that into perspective and know that there is one out there for you. And I personally do think that when you're researching camps, when you have your interviews, you will have that kind of light bulb moment like, oh, this is the camp for me. This is where I'm going to spend my summer. This is where I'm going to have the best time. Now, I also just want to say that please don't base how you're going to find a camp just off what you see on social media. Now, I know this is really hard, and this is something that I do. Like, I post all about Tyler Hill on social media, and for me, it is the best camp. It's the perfect camp. But for someone else, it might not be. The same way that I might not enjoy a different camp the same way that someone else loves it. So I'm going to talk about all these different things in a moment, like ways in which you can find the right camp and how to choose one and how to make sure that one is the right one for you. But please make sure you go into it with an open mind. Don't be really closed off and just think, oh, I've seen this camp on social media. This is the only one I want to work at. It's the only choice I'm looking at, because that really closes yourself off to so many other amazing camps out there. So yeah, in case you didn't know, I work at a camp called Tyler Hill. It's a 7-week sleepaway, co-ed, traditional camp in Pennsylvania, and I just spent my 4th summer there and I love it. It is genuinely my summer home. It's one of the happiest places on the planet for me, and I love it so much. And I just want to go into a bit of detail how I found that camp, because I do get asked that a lot. And I basically had a family friend that worked there in 2017, and I knew I wanted to go and do summer camp. I had no idea where to start, no idea where to even begin applying, and I went and visited her and she showed me loads of photos, told me loads of stories, and I was like, oh, this camp sounds amazing. Like, I really want to have a look at applying here. I went on the website, got a really good vibe, literally spent hours going through things on their website just based on what the values were, kind of what activities they offered, what their facilities were like, and I fell in love, like genuinely fell in love with this camp. And I put an application in and had a interview with my director and got offered a job as a gymnastics specialist, and genuinely had the best summer and have gone back so many more times because I love it so much. So that's a little backstory on how I found Tyler Hill, and yeah, I want to just go into discussing some things that can kind of help you guys when you're looking at choosing camps. I know so many people have signed up with agencies now. So many people are maybe looking at camps to apply to. I know a lot of camps don't start the hiring process just yet, but it's nice to have these things in the back of your mind for when they do start hiring, and you can kind of be ahead of the game. So first up, my biggest tip kind of goes off what I just mentioned, but it's please research. Don't base the fact that you want to go to a certain camp just off what you see on social media. You need to research into it. You need to have a look on the websites, have a look on their socials, try and speak to people that have maybe been to that camp, and try and get a proper feel for it that's not just based off what you see on socials. Researching is really important, because you might see a camp on social media and think, oh, I really, really want to go there, but it's actually completely the opposite of what you're after for the summer. Like I said, there's over 12,000 camps in America, and they're all going to be different at the end of the day. They're all going to offer different things. They're going to have different facilities, so make sure you do your research. Okay, a big thing I tell people to do to start with is look for a state in America that you'd maybe like to work in. I know people that are dead set on working in a camp that's on the West Coast, so there's no point applying to a camp that's near New York. So make sure you have a look at that first, have a little think about where in the country you'd like to work, and then you can try and narrow it down that way. So go on Google and search camps in California or camps in New York and try and get a little feel for it, and just spend a few hours having a look at some camp websites, having a look on Instagram. You can search summer camp as a hashtag, and then tons of camps will come up. Same for on TikTok, different things. So have a little research, find out where you would like to be working, and then go from there. Okay, next up, a factor to think about is deciding how long you want to be working with the same group of kids. Now, like I said, I work at a camp that is a 7-week sleepaway camp. We have these same kids for 7 weeks. They come at the end of June and they're at camp until the middle of August. So they're there for 7 weeks. Now, there's other camps that offer sessions, so some kids come for 2 weeks at a time, or some do 4 weeks, or some even do day camps where the kids literally come for a period of the day and then you have every evening off. So deciding that first will again really help to narrow down the kind of camp you want to go to. Again, if you're dead set on working on a 7-week sleepaway camp where you have the same kids for 7 weeks, don't look into day camps, because that's not going to be what you're after. So it's just looking at these factors first and then understanding how you can then start looking. Then you would search day camps in California or sleepaway camps in New York. just to give yourself a little bit of an idea that there's so many camps, like I said, you don't want to be just looking at all of them. And then you find one you like the look of, then realising that it offers something that's a little bit different than what you're after. Okay, again, this goes just off the back of what I've just said, but think about what kind of camp you want to go to as well. Whether you want to go to a traditional camp, a camp that's co-ed, an all-girls camp, an all-boys camp. There's so many different types of camps, so make sure you have a little think about that as well whilst you're researching. Okay, look at facilities as well. This is a huge one. Now, my camp has aircon in the bunks, and it's one of the very few camps in America that do. If that's a factor to you, that is like vital, you have to have aircon, then that's going to again narrow down your search. Looking at different facilities like athletics programs, different things that they offer. This then goes on to thinking about the job that you want to do. If you're looking at specialising in a certain area, make sure you're searching camps that obviously hire for that role. I've had people sometimes message saying that they're really wanting to go to Tyler Hill, they love the look of it, but they want to teach horse riding. Now at Tyler Hill we don't offer that. We don't have a horse riding program at Tyler Hill. So for someone wanting to do that, they would need to look into camps that specialise in that specific role. And that goes for a lot of different roles. If you're dead set on wanting to do soccer, then don't apply to a camp that specialises in like theatre and arts and crafts. So there's a lot to go into it, and it can seem really overwhelming, but I think making a list of all the different types of things that you want out of a camp will really help when you're thinking about applying to the right one. And if you have camps reach out to you through your agency, then at least you know what you're looking for, and if that camp just isn't for you, that's okay. And you can turn a camp down. You can say, you know what, this is kind of the opposite of what I'm looking for. Thank you so much for your interest, but I'm going to keep looking, and that's okay. I think that's a big thing I get asked a lot as well, is that people worry about having to turn camps down, and does that look bad on you applying? And no, like the big thing I tell people is that this is your summer home. This is where you're going to be for the entire summer. You want to make sure that it's right for you, and it's okay to turn camps down. Just obviously be wary. If you're turning down camp after camp after camp, don't be too specific and particular, because as well you have to think about, just because something doesn't seem the way that you want it to be online doesn't mean that it can't be the best camp for you. It might still be amazing. You could have an amazing time. So that kind of contradicts a little bit what I've been saying, but definitely think about the things you want to get out of a camp and narrow it down, but then be careful how many camps you are turning down. Like, don't be too specific, if that makes sense. Okay, definitely have a look at what some of the camp values are and what the camp stands for. Now, this was really important to me, and I remember spending a lot of time looking at the camp values. And at my camp, we have something called STARFISH, which is an acronym that stands for S is sportsmanship, tolerance, appreciation, respect, friendship, integrity, sensitivity, and helpfulness. And each week on a Friday, we'll all gather down to the camp of theatre, and each week will be worth a different value. So the first week will be about sportsmanship, and we'll talk about that, and then people from the division will win that award. And that to me was really nice. I loved that whole idea that we had something, and within the whole summer at camp we talk about STARFISH a lot, and it's a big thing for us. And if you're showing good STARFISH, it kind of just says that you are understanding of the camp values and the camp morals, and I just thought it was a really nice thing. So definitely have a look at what the camp stands for and what some of the things are that they stand by throughout the summer. Okay, next up is probably my biggest tip ever, and it's ask questions on your interview. One of the biggest things I say to people is to remember that you are interviewing this camp just as much as they are interviewing you. I'm starting to hold interviews for Tyler Hill now, and the one thing I really want from people is to ask questions. I want you guys to ask me why I love Tyler Hill, or different things about camp, questions that you might not find the answers to online, because that goes for every camp in every interview. A director or an employer wants to know what questions you have and what we can help you with. And I always find in any interview, whether it's camp or any job related, it's always really good to ask some sort of questions, because it shows that you're trying to learn more about what you're going to do, the job, the role, everything. So ask questions, have a little think beforehand, some things you want to know. Maybe it's things that you can't find on the website. It could even be questions like, oh, what can we do on our time off? Do you arrange transport for us to get off camp? Or what are some of your camp values? Can you talk me through this? I saw this on the website, but can you explain it a little bit better? So those are some things. Definitely ask questions, because like I said, the interview works both ways. You could have an interview with a camp and they could be really, really excited to have you on board, and after the interview you might be like, oh, you know what, that wasn't actually for me. I found out some things that maybe go against what I do want from the summer, and that's okay as well. Okay, and last up is just to let your agency help as well. I think a lot of people are looking into camps and researching and doing that and applying direct, which is amazing. I think it's a great thing to do, and you do have a lot more control over your summer, but also know that your agency is there to help you through all of that. And some of you might not know what you want out of a summer. Some of you might not know that you want to work at a traditional sleepaway camp, and that's okay, because your agency is there to help you know what you do want out of the summer. So obviously when you fill out your agency application, they'll then send that out to camps, and camps will then get in touch with you. You can go on review with camps, you'll have interviews that way, and they're there to help. That's what you're kind of paying them the fees for, is to help you find an amazing camp and get you there and have a great summer. So use them. Let them do what they do best and help you find an amazing camp. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to talk about. I hope this was quite short and sweet. I didn't want it to be too long. Just some quick fire things that you can think about when you're starting to look at applying to camps. I think hopefully this is really useful, and like I say, you can try and narrow down some of the things you do want. But again, it's okay if you have no idea and you want an agency to do that for you and help you find the right camp. Like I said, that's what they're there for. But yeah, it's so exciting that everyone is starting to look at camps. Like, nothing makes me more excited than the next summer camp season starting, like genuinely. It's not even October yet. It might be October by the time this video goes up, but I am so beyond excited for next summer already, and for all of you to experience working at a summer camp. So yeah, please let me know down below if you are signed up with a camp, if you found one that you love the look of, if you're still researching, if you have no idea. I love knowing what stage you guys are at with the application process, and I know some people that have been placed already, and that's amazing. I know some people that haven't even started the application. That's also okay. But yeah, I love knowing where you guys are at. And as always, if you have any questions or you need any help at all, please message me or leave something down below, and I'm always happy to help. So yeah, I hope that's given you a little insight. I always get to the end of these videos and I'm like, have I actually given any useful information? Because I find I talk, and I love talking about camp, that sometimes I think back to what I've said and I'm like, have I actually made any valid points? But I hope this has helped and just given you an idea of how you can find the right camp and different things you can think about and ways you can start looking now. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.
Living life every day.